Hello everybody, it's Gamer Rants here. Yes, I changed my beard. I also shaved the sides and back of my hair. More on that later. You're about to hear a bunch of gravel going on. People hard at work. The lovely sound of shovel ASMR. Anyway, I am here today, back outside. It's actually getting kind of nice out. Looks like it's about to rain. So, that means that summer is gonna cool down and we'll be in winter, where instead of it being hotter than hell, it'll just be excruciatingly hot. There is a difference. Our winters here are only like 60 degrees usually, unless you're out at night, then it can get down to 40. So I weighed myself for the first time yesterday, and I gained 10 pounds. So I need to stop eating junk food. So I'm going to continue these walks. I'm going to lessen my food intake. And I want you all to call me out on that. I don't want to end up on the, what do they call that show? 600 pounds and something. My 600 pound life or whatever. Yeah, I don't want to end up that fat. Hell, I don't want to even be this fat. Oh. My beard's probably uneven, but we'll see. It looked even when I looked in the mirror, but not really a good judge of that kind of thing. So I've been seeing a lot of the Europeans complimenting America now. I'll tell you what, we'll trade all those Europeans who fell in love with America for all the ones that hate America. Because this is the greatest country in the world, and them liberals and shit don't see it. Well, they see it, they just don't like to admit it, for the simple fact that if it wasn't the greatest country in the world, they'd leave. There'd be no reason for them to stay. But because we have all the shit that they like, that's for whatever reason they're trying to get rid of, they're gonna stay here. Well, if you like the country, you're always welcome back. If you're people like Hassan Piker or what's his name? I want to say Mizkif, but I don't think that's who it is. Anyway, if you're calling for capitalist blood or interviewing terrorists on your channel, looking at you, Hassan, then I am a firm believer that you need to get the fuck out of our country. We're not going to go communist. We're not going to go socialist. We're not going to be a dictatorship. Y'all need to get the fuck out. And Mayor's Mom Donnie, if you keep fucking up, we'll find a way. So I suggest you leave that commie talk to your wife or boyfriend or whatever, and you stop fucking with America. You ain't American just because you have a piece of paper that states, oh, I'm an American. No, motherfucker. American's right here. It's all in the heart. You either love our country or you hate it, and if you hate our country, you're not American. That's like saying I'm Irish, even though just because of a piece of paper, that's not how it works. And I'm glad to see a lot of these people overseas are starting to see that. Ooh, that's a lot of C's. I'm glad a lot of people are starting to see how dangerous it is to let all these illegal immigrants with the IQ of 67 in. And I'm glad to see that they're trying to change that. Good on you, Lo. Hope our brothers across the pond over there in the UK get their way. More gravel ASMR. Because let's face it, you live in the country that you're trying to completely screw up. Stop. You think the prices are bad now? Wait until communism happens. If communism does somehow infect America, you guys are all you fat liberals are going to be losing a lot of weight really quickly because you're going to be starving. You think people over in Russia like the Russian government? You think they love communism? Most of the soldiers fighting over in Ukraine are being forced to. Oh, but don't get me wrong. You guys are on the side of Ukraine, right? You know, a democratic country. Well, democratic in a way, I should say. But you guys claim that all these other socialist and communist countries are better than ours. Go there. You guys want a free Palestine? Go there. You guys want to back Iran during this war? Go there. We're not here to baby you guys. You guys are fully grown fucking adults. You have no reason, you guys have no reason to hate America. Even our poor people, our homeless people are fat. Unless they're on drugs. Then it's mainly the drugs wrecking their body. But we're the only country in the world who has social programs to where homeless people can actually eat, stay hydrated, basically everything they need except for housing because they don't want to be housed. I'm just saying, you have a choice here in America. You can either get up, get a job. Yeah, it's difficult. Even I'm having difficulty finding a job, don't get me wrong. But it's not impossible. Hell, once I get, I'll probably end up doing DoorDash here soon. Not much, but it'll at least keep me on my feet until, ooh, this is a bunch of ants. Until I find something better. There's a lake in the golf course. You figure that they'd have draining. But, these socialist Democrats, these communist Democrats, they need to change their tune. Because the reason why a lot of you can't find a job or can't do this or can't do that is because you're living in a blue state. I've noticed a trend. A lot of the people bitching, pissing, and moaning about the government all live in a blue state. So when you're crying about gas prices and grocery costs and all that shit, yeah, blame your governor, not the president. it's a state by state deal. Sure, things are getting more expensive in where I live, but that's because the Democrats in my state cheated themselves to an election twice. Because I sure as hell haven't run into anybody who voted for Katie Hobbs, but somehow magically she ended up with most of the votes. And that's how they do it too. They rig the elections. Like, look at California. It took them weeks to count the votes, and somehow magically the Democratic Party came out with 2 individuals. Somehow magically, even though Spencer Pratt was winning by over 10 or 14 points, something like that. So lo and behold, Arizona started doing the same frickin' thing. Hell, Arizona did it in 2020 for the presidential election. For some reason, despite other states only needing to take a day to count, Arizona needed a week and a half to 2 weeks. So, tell me, Katie Hobbs, how is it that states that are 2-3 times our size only need a day, and yet somehow magically Arizona needed a week? There's something fishy there. Oh, that's right, they proved you cheated yourself to the election. But instead of stepping down in shame and respecting the position, you decided to keep it, and not only keep it, but steal $350 million from autistic programs, and somehow magically disappeared. That's the Democratic Party for you. They'll spend and spend and spend, and somehow magically nothing gets better. Nobody knows where the money's going. And somehow the Democrats are getting richer and richer. Don't get me wrong, there's Republicans who do this shit too. There's political Republicans who entered Congress or Senate or whatever, and went from making, somehow being worth, like, getting paid $100,000 plus, and yet leaving office with 30 million, 200 million. Nah, I call bullshit. Don't get me wrong, if you guys want to set it up to where they get a payout, but only if Americans win the same payout, alright, cool, I'll accept that. If everybody is uplifting everybody with the money that they're doing with insider trading, then I'm perfectly fine with that. But we didn't elect you guys to cheat us out of money. We elected you guys to put money into our pockets. And I guarantee you, if this were a mafia deal and you guys were meant to get us something, you'd end up getting shot during the deal because you cheated us. So, for all those people in the Senate and the sorry, I'm fat and I'm walking. I'm even fatter now and I'm walking. But for all those people in the Senate who cheated us, just remember, YouTube's currently winning his district election in Texas. You guys ain't permanent. You guys could easily get a different runner, and as long as they follow what they promised on, they'll win, despite you guys using illegals to vote. Yeah, I know how the game is played. It's one of the reasons I won't go into running for mayor or something. I don't want to deal with that bullshit. I'm too blunt. I tell you how I see it. I tell everybody how I see it. But what we need is we need to get the old fogies out, the people that's been there for 60, 70 years. We need to get them the fuck out. And we need to put people that we trust, that know what the internet is, that know how Wi-Fi is connected, that know technology. And we need to get them in so they could pass bills on what's best for the country. Because let's face it, I highly doubt Nancy Pelosi even knows what the internet is. If she did, she wouldn't be acting a fool on it. I doubt most of the Senate knows what Wi-Fi is. Because let's face it, a lot of them dumbasses wouldn't be on the internet if they knew what it was. They wouldn't lie through their teeth. Because whatever exists on the internet stays on the internet. And we'll find all the proof. I'm also a firm believer that if you're on the Epstein list, like cold hard evidence on the Epstein list, we're coming for you. I don't want a country run by pedophiles. I know a lot of people don't want a country run by pedophiles. I know a lot of people that would prefer to burn this shit down if it meant the pedophiles got what they deserved. This is America. We'll survive long after you all lose your positions. And then we'll keep surviving. We can always rebuild. Ain't nobody brave enough to attack us on our home field. Only reason that the terrorists are doing it is because they're brainwashing a bunch of stupid people. And let's face it, if you think that the Muslims give a fuck about all you people in the LGBTQ and all you white people that aren't Muslim, that are pro-Palestine or whatever, you got another thing coming. They'll use you, but the moment that they win, they're going to get rid of you. They're going to do far worse than that if you're female. I know you've all seen the dockets over from UK. It ain't pretty. So I suggest you clean up your act, do your own research, and stop playing the puppet for the Democratic Party. Because you may not notice it, but they're really fucking with your head. I know this is a little bit of a shorter video than my usual walks, but it's basically all I have. Like, subscribe, leave a comment.